Japan background. So I'm very happy to welcome Misa today. Hi, Misa.
Hi, Vicky. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm very curious about lullabies, what you're going to tell us.
We'll see.
Misa, maybe you know I first start with another topic than our actual topic. So I'm going to ask you two unconventional questions. The first one, what is one thing that you miss when you are away from Japan for a long time?
My family. So my sister lives in Okinawa, and I still don't get to see her that often, but my parents live pretty close. And yeah, when I'm not here, I really miss them.
Okay. But so actually your whole family is now back in Japan.
Yes, they have always been here. I'm the one who wasn't here for many years.
Okay. See, I didn't know that. Even though we have been talking for quite some time now. Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
My mother's from America, but in my lifetime, she's always been in Japan.
Okay, interesting. Okay, of course, now that I asked you what you miss when you are away from Japan, I have to also ask you, what do you miss when you are away from the US?
The sky, the terrain, there is a vastness, a expansiveness, and somehow just landing in the airport. I know the airports aren't necessarily glamorous, but I can already feel myself breathing more deeply. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump into our topic. As I mentioned at the beginning, you are the founder of Spirit Mama Lullabies, and I would love to hear more about your story.
Yeah. Do you want my story, or do you want me to describe a little bit more about what I do first?
What you do, yes, about Spirit Mama Lullabies.
Okay. All right. So my mission is to help mamas remember the joy of singing, because it can feel really good. And also to help them realize the beauty of their voice, no matter what they've been told. So that they can feel good singing to their babies and get the most out of the nourishment that lullabies offer.
Yeah.
And we also talk about tips and tricks, and I also share how magical lullabies can be. But most importantly, I would say it's helping them overcome inadequacy, just feeling like their voice isn't good enough.
And now you mentioned something, because that's exactly what I think about my voice. Yeah. So I think I'm going to learn a lot today.
Yeah, that would be good.
But how did you arrive at this work? Like, what brought you this way? It's because assist moms to sing lullabies, it seems for me such a niche. Seriously, I haven't heard about this before. So what brought you there?
Yeah, it is rather niche, and it's taken a long time to get the different ideas together. But it really started when I realized how much we feel pressured to sound perfect, and it affects us so much. So I even had a mom from Florida. She contacted me and said, I have a background singing pop music. I've studied classical singing. I have a degree in biomedical engineering and also mind-body medicine. And I know all the benefits about singing lullabies, but I still kind of hesitate because I don't know if my voice is good enough for my baby. Yeah, that's when I realized, oh, wow, I'm really onto something. And, I didn't have horrible experiences as a child. Some people do. They're told horrible things about their singing and they stop singing completely. And in my case, the main challenges started when I went to college. I went to a music school to study singing, and everyone was so good, like really, really good at singing. And they're nice, we're all nice to each other, but deep down, that when you're finished, you're out in the world competing with each other to get a job. So I didn't have much stage fright when I started, but it got worse and it got worse. And by the time I finished, my voice, I would go on stage and it just shut down. So I stopped singing for, I don't know, a few years completely. And then I had some dreams. They were basically the same dream every time. My heart was crying so painfully because I wasn't singing enough. And I would wake up and my face would be covered in tears. And I would have a deep feeling that if I didn't start singing soon, I might develop a heart condition. So that's what was happening in my life personally. And what really got me interested in helping moms was two things around the same time. One was research on lullabies. I was writing a paper for my master's degree in integrative health and sound healing, and I was focused on lullabies. And the research was showing that there were so many benefits already documented for singing lullabies. And I also found research showing that there's a significant drop in moms who sing lullabies or just singing in general for their kids. So I kind of put that together in my mind. And one more thing happened around the same time, and that was singing to children. I was taking care of children, and one boy, every time I would sing to him and I would think, oh, he's asleep. I think he's asleep now. And I would start to move. Mark, don't stop. Keep singing. And so I would have to sing again. And the same thing. So you might think that's problematic because he wasn't going to sleep. But for me, it was so nourishing after all these years of not singing and feeling like there are all these great singers out in the world. And why does anybody need me to sing? One more child story was a baby who was 6 months old, and I was her first caretaker, aside from her family members. And she would not stop crying, just crying and crying. And I started singing. And it took a little bit of experimenting what would work, but soon she stopped and got calm, and it felt like magic. It felt like magic because it was so powerful and it worked so well, but it was what I felt inside again after so many years of feeling really challenged with singing. I went to singing school because I enjoyed singing. I wanted to have fun and feel good singing. And so now this baby, she gave me this opportunity to feel good about my singing again. And I want every parent to be able to feel that.
Right. Yeah, I think speaking as a mom, I think a crying baby can drive the parent quite insane. So it seems so simple, right? It's the voice, your own voice that you can use, and it can calm your baby and put everything back together, right?
Yeah, sometimes I describe it like it's like a magic wand. Moms, they have it already and they just don't know about it. So I tell them about it and I show them how to use it well. And it's wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And other than now the crying example, why is it so important to sing to your baby?
Hmm. There are so many benefits. Some of them you can quickly, find on Google, and some of them takes a while to dig. But I thought I would focus on the reasons why right now, like today in this world, why it's extra important to sing lullabies. And I have three. One is the nervous system. So, from the perspective of soothing and calming ourselves and our children, I used to say we live in a chaotic and overstimulating, stressful world, and our nervous systems really need the help to come back to this calm, peaceful place. And now you might agree that we need it even more than ever in this world. So that's one. And the second reason why it's so important is community. There's a lot of division going on. And when we sing together, it brings us together and it helps us connect at such a deep level. So why lullabies? Lullabies and play songs. Play songs are the more upbeat, fun, active songs that we sing with our children. Those help create the foundation for a child. And through their life, this is what teaches them that singing can be a powerful, wonderful tool that helps us feel connected. And yeah, at the moment in our world, just anything that helps us remember what it feels like to love each other and come together, even if we have different opinions, I think is precious. And the third reason is human bonding, deep bonding. And that one, it's also about connection with each other. But this one, it's more about technology and how busy our lives have become. Even when mamas breastfeed, I have noticed and I have been told that it's quite common to be on our phones while we're breastfeeding. And this is not to make anyone feel bad if they do it. I understand. But just to point out how lullabies are a really strong bonder. They create a really fast way to bond deeply. So that's another really good reason to be singing lullabies in our very busy and distracted world.
Oh, yes, these were some great benefits. I wish I would have known them before.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I probably knew them before, but what kept me a little bit from singing is that I didn't like my voice too much. So what if a mom doesn't like her voice?
Okay. So I would say basically two things can happen. One is they just don't sing, right? Or they sing, but they don't enjoy their voice, and it really affects the quality of their singing at a deep level. And the benefits, a lot of the benefits, they come because you are channeling love through your sounds. And if you're not liking your voice, you are kind of tensing up, and it just doesn't work quite the same.
I know you are about to launch a new product, right? It's called Love Your Voice. And yeah. Can you tell us what is this program about?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so it is the heart of my work in many ways, and it's designed for anyone who wishes they could enjoy singing more, whether you're an accomplished singer or you have been told you are tone deaf and have not sung since, specifically through the lens of lullabies. And we take singing to be something that's technical, and we aim so much to satisfy a performance standard and an audience. So we take it from that to being something that you do because you are human. Remembering how we sang as young children before it became so complicated. So if you are interested, and if that sounds like something that would help you and your baby, please visit my website. We should have some more information up there. It's misachristina.com. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out.
Yeah, I will also put your webpage in the show notes. Okay. And it's actually because it's a new product. It's to reduce price, just limited now at the beginning. So now it's the time to book it, I think. And it's around 2 weeks, right? That's what I recap, around 2 weeks. And it's for pregnant moms to be, or for women who are trying to conceive, right?
It is, yes. Once you have your baby in front of you, it's a whole new world and a whole lot more challenges, and there will be things for that too. But for now, for this program, we'll focus on moms who don't yet have a baby in their hands.
Specific program, great. Yeah, wow, I'm very curious. I would love to participate.
Oh, I would love that.
Misa, what problems do, let's say, your moms or your clients most commonly encounter when it comes to singing lullabies?
Well, the first problem they face, now they won't think it's a problem at the time, but it's the lack of awareness about singing lullabies. And they just never thought about it, right? And never crossed their minds. So they won't even notice it's a problem. And then the lack of confidence, that's the big one, with their singing voice. And this can come from just a general feeling of shyness and hesitancy. It could be that you had a really painful time. Something happened. Someone said something when you were younger, when you tried to sing. It can also come from a family member with pretty strong feelings about how your singing should be sounding. And so I've had moms who say, oh, they said maybe my singing will damage my child because it's so bad. So that could be also a reason. And don't worry, you will be okay, and your child will be okay. And I think, and then the last one is that the lyrics of lullabies, especially the old ones, they don't always sound too appealing to the modern mom. So that's another thing that they face.
And these are all topics you discuss in your new program, Love Your Voice, right?
In the Loving Your Voice, I do not cover the lyrics issue. I have a separate thing for that. And let's see, the lack of confidence. That's the main thing I cover for Loving Your Voice, is the confidence issue, or just wanting to feel much better about your singing voice so you don't feel horrible about it. And the lack of awareness, I mean, just listening to this podcast, you already have a much better awareness. So we've got that covered. Yes.
Great. Okay. And my last question in today's episode for you is going to be about cultural differences in Japan, comparing Japan and the US, because we probably have moms here who are living in Japan but are not from Japan. So I'm curious, what are your experience regarding the differences when it comes to singing?
So for lullabies, I'm not that familiar with Japanese mothers, I would say, but based on just the little bits that I observe, my sense is that there is more singing, more singing in general, actually, as a society, but also lullaby singing in Japan. And my thoughts about why that might be is two parts. One is music education and how it is and has been a big part, or just a normal part, of childhood education in school. to sing every week, maybe 2 or 3 times. You have music class, and singing is a part of that. So you grow up doing that. Even in junior high school, Japanese kids tend to usually have music class and singing. And so that's one. And in America, I hear it's not quite like that. Some kids don't even receive any music education in schools. It's not a requirement for the school to have it. Some kids just have 1 year, all that. So that's that. And then another reason that I just mentioned, yes, it's the family structure of how we live. I know, Japan is changing too, but I do think still there are more moms living either with her parents or her parents-in-laws, or they're nearby. And so the grandma and grandpas of the baby, especially the grandmas in Japan, it was very common that they would not work outside the home, right? They were always at home with the kids, and the traditions of singing lullabies is much more intact. And in America, I think there is a little bit more of moms working outside of the home. So there's a little disconnect from these traditions. And also, let's see, they live so far away. So even if, as a mom, even if your mom might have sung lullabies, if they're not nearby to remind you how to raise your baby, you might not remember to do so. So those are my thoughts about it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that parents, anyways, for foreign moms here in Japan, parents are far away anyhow.
Yes,
So
yes, indeed.
That's why moms have to do it and not the grandmas.
Yeah.
And one last thought. So when we sing while we are pregnant, I imagine the baby will recall the voice once the baby is born, right?
Yes, especially, well, the voice for sure. Your speaking voice also will be familiar, and they'll notice there's a connection. But for sure, your singing voice. But the song too, if you sing the same song repeatedly throughout your pregnancy, there have been many reports documented where the child recognizes it after birth, and it's even helped make the birthing process more smooth. Shortly after labor, you and even your partner can start singing that song, and the nurses, the doctors, like everyone around just notices, oh my goodness, the baby is suddenly quiet. So this can be really helpful, I think. Yeah.
It sounds so easy. And so I would really recommend to join your Your Voice program, and especially now with this opportunity of a reduced price stuff for a limited time. So I'm very thankful, Misa, for your insights, and I think there's so much more to learn about singing lullabies to your little ones, or even already in your pregnancy, because afterwards, like you said, the timing is a little bit more tight, or the schedule. So it's a great thing to start early, right?
It is wonderful. I mean, it's, pregnancy too has a ton of stress. So it really helps you feel so much calmer and helps calm the baby during pregnancy.
Right, yeah. Because I also think when you start singing, you disconnect from, it's a little bit like a meditation, or, you disconnect from everything else, right?
Yes, I would say so. There are definitely documents of mothers reporting how it really helps them be in the moment, and extra so if you're not focused on, oh, am I sounding okay? Oh, I don't like the sound of my voice. Oh, if those thoughts aren't there, it really, really is something meditational and calming for both mom and child.
Misa, thank you so much for everything, for your time, for your insights.
You are so welcome. So
and
welcome.
For the program you offer. I'm very curious.
Thank you for having me on your show. And if you don't mind, I have just this one quick message to everyone listening.
Sure.
Life is too short not to sing, and lullabies are too sweet not to share. And your voice is good enough for you and your child. And lastly, your voice is beautiful, just the way it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Misa, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Keep in touch. Talk to you soon.
I will.
Bye.
All right. Sounds good. Bye.